In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning. I want to talk to you guys of the meaning of the revelation of the pale horse. In the chapter of Revelation, it talks about the pale horse. And death was behind the pale horse. That death was called Hades. And the pale horse was riding very low. Now, brothers and sisters, we want to know more information about the pale horse. And it had death had followed the pale horse. And see, in the world today, you're looking at a society that's very upscaled, very upside down. So I want to say, through the teachings of Moses, and we go into the very beginning of Exodus. In Exodus 20, I believe, verse 1, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not eat what's have been a blood sacrifice. That's why in the story of Moses, Aaron being the priesthood and things that they came to make fellowship sacrifice and making these atonement offerings, every year they have to go to make atonement offering. And see, in the revelation of the pale horse, the horse. See, you see today a horse is smart. A horse eats what's good. He eats what's healthy. But brothers and sisters, when we eat today, we eat all these meat. And some of us raise questions on what type of meat we eat. You know, if you have money, you can buy the expensive meat that you look for in the meat market without even raising any questions because you spending your very hard earnings. But now there's horse meat. Most of you eating horse meat. But the pale horse, and you want to know more information about this pale horse. The pale horse, it looked, behold, a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name of Death. And Hades was followed with him. Authority was given to him over the fourth of the earth to kill with swords and with famine and with pestilence by the wild beasts of the earth. The fourth and final horseman, his name is Death. And see, Jesus is saying through the midst of time. He's telling the world to be a good cheer, because it is I has overcome the world. Jesus never took on his credibility of being something great, but he was getting the world attention. If you follow me, and if you follow a righteous man, and see, he didn't drink, he didn't do any drugs, he didn't sniff any coke, he didn't chase any women, he didn't chase any man. But what kind of fault you gonna find in me? And see, Jesus says, hey, I have not come to fulfill the laws, but there was a condition. There was people that was infirmity that he needs to go. And see, the Bible gives us a clear description. John 4:24 talks that God is spirit. God is eternal. And Jesus was saying, if you look at me, you're looking at the Father who sent me. But Jesus said, hey, wait a minute. If I glorify myself, my glorify means nothing. But the one who sent me, who the one I glorifies. But Jesus trying to get a world attention, telling the world, if you follow me, I will make you fishers of men. If you follow me, I will point you into the discipleship. And see, Jesus gives us a description how that we should live righteous. How should we be holy? In this hour, in this judgment. See, so the pale horse had a horse, and the pale he was riding, and death followed. And death was Hades. See, brothers, we are living in a time where the minister Farrakhan talks about slavery days. He talks about the day of the Armageddon, the beginning of World War III, which would lead to such madness and corruption, chaos and brutality, carnage, cruelty. So the time for us is to get right and to seek refuge with God like never before. Like never before. Because no time passed with God. And since no time passed with God, everyone is going to be in a disagreement. Because I'm going to say, thinking you had long and thinking that you have a long time to think can be a greatest mistake that you can make. You see, in the day of Noah, day of locks, even in the day of the coming of the Son of Man, people was partying, drinking, having a good old time. As you're doing today in America, you partying, drinking, having a good old joy, having a good old laugh, but you don't pay attention to the hour and the sign of the day of judgment that's coming. This pale horse was riding, and death has followed. And see, when the Son of Man comes, he will gather his elect from the four winds of the earth. And see, as great as that pale horse, the four horsemen, as great as that pale horse, he had a trail behind. Death was coming to America. Death followed. And the death of Hades. That in 1,000 years, Satan must be bound. He must go back where he belongs. Now Lucifer, very, very crafty. Lucifer, Satan, the devil, the arch deceiver of the world, has deceived the world. Whether you was rich, great, small, poor, slave, Satan's job was to kill, steal, and destroy. Take away your future. So I'm here to say, through a mist of time, Jesus gave us a description. Be of good cheer. It is I has overcome the world. And if we're going to overcome the world, we're going to have to get together and fight our enemies. Fight the deceiver. We have to fight in a time. And see, brothers, you may dislike a thing that can be good. But fighting was required. And even when we dislike a thing that can be good to us, fighting is mentioned. And see, Israelites said there's giants in this land. And we're not going to go up against them. But God says, the earth is mine and the fullness of it. And see, if you don't like you living on the earth, he's going to move you off the earth as he's doing